I've probably ruined every amusement park vacation that we've taken. You're supposed to be happy and smiling at an amusement park with your kids and your family. And I'm not doing any of this because I'm nervous about me thinking that somebody about to blow the place up or do something, or it's about to be an active shooter. And I'm trying to think through security and how lax they were when I came through, how I didn't think they checked everything and anybody can get anything through here. Those things start racing through your mind, or through my mind. And so I just completely ruined the experience, right? And there are times, let's just say simple stuff like going to the beach. Somebody might be too drunk. And in their level, what they think may be having fun or being funny might not be to me, because I'm in the military. I've been serious for a very long time, and it's not funny to me, but it's normal, funny people stuff. And I'll probably ruin the moment. It was something else. Whistles used to tear me up, right? So I hear a whistle, and a lot of times some of the whistles, if they catch you off guard, can sometimes sound like incoming rounds. So if you ever had and for the veterans out there, if you ever had a incoming round go over your head really close, it whistles. And the good part about that is, that round's not going to hit you because you heard it. When you don't hear it is when you need to worry. And so, getting back home, whistles bothered me for a long time. Playing games, like, my family, they did, haven't noticed them. Maybe they do it when I'm not around, but they did like to play games where you scared each other, like normal families, right? You walk in the door and somebody go, whatever the case may be. My heart can't handle that. Like, I'm thrown off for the rest of the day. Because I've been startled too much, I think. So in the military, you do stuff so much that it becomes normal to you. So for the most part, I would say probably 75% of everybody's job is to figure out in some form or way or another, whether it's direct or indirect, on how to kill an enemy. And so that in itself can be rough enough for some people if that's not who you are internally. Yeah. And so, which most people aren't just killers internally or want to think about killing all the time internally. And so once you do that for years at a time, and then you do that and you go into a combat environment where you're actually executing some of these things that can be pretty horrible, or see things that are pretty horrible, or deal with things that are that most people aren't able to process. And so it just becomes second nature to you, and it becomes and I'm about to say something that we're all used to in this country now, it becomes your new normal. And so I can only speak on, for me, is that there were things that I basically became numb to a lot of stuff, right? So when you see death a lot, you become numb to just normal type of pain that you see people going through. I got 60 months deploy time in Iraq and Afghanistan. Numerous amounts of training exercises, and almost 23 years of being in the military, going through this all the time. And so what I think is normal is nowhere near normal. And what I'm used to, what normal is, isn't. And so we'll just take me, for instance, there's things a lot of stuff right now, I have to retrain my mind and how I think, because it's totally off. It's totally off. Just stuff as simple as, like, my son may, cut his leg, and it may be the most, like one of the most significant events of his life so far. And to me, it's just like, all right, dude, like, let's just fix that and drive on. Let's keep going, because you get so used to that in the military, where it's like, where it's just you have to keep going no matter what. And that's not normal to never stop. It wasn't even a month ago where I was like, because of the way I've lived for 23 years, where I was like, it'd be easiest. Well, let me not cuss. It would probably be really easy to be homeless. That like literally came in my mind for a whole day. I had to fight this to go, like, because you have no worries in the world besides, I just need to wake up and walk around and figure out how to get some food that day. Probably be easy for me. And I was able to, like, for the first time, see in my mind why so many veterans do it. Because you're not normal anymore. And so you're probably going to burn all the bridges with normal people in the world. And you have no place to go. I fought with that for an entire day, where I was like, man, that'll probably be awesome to not have to worry about normal stuff, kind of like combat. All you had to do was wake up every day, try not to get killed. Try to make an environment, if you're a leader, that's good enough to where the people around you don't get killed. And it seems simple when you're in it, because it's just like, man, I just need to survive today. I have to work at caring about seeing somebody hurt and their legs not missing from their body. I have to work at that. That's a real thing for me, to be like, all right, where's my emotions at? Let me try and have some emotions. And it's weird that I'm even saying this to you, but I have to work at that. Yeah, I'm learning all that right now. I'm learning to, like, kind of take my time a little bit. Be a human, not like a robot, not a number. Be a real person with real emotions. And it is a job, because I've never had to do it. And I can't even, like, I can't have this conversation with my family, because they would never understand that. They're normal, like, they're normal people. They would never understand that certain things just aren't going to emotionally get to me. Certain things are. And then I'm learning right now, amen. And I'm learning right now to allow those feelings to happen. And I think a lot of service members don't allow those feelings to happen, and then they feel weird and they feel out of place. And then before you know it, there's a memorial ceremony, because they don't have the answers for what they have going on. They don't know what's going on. They just know that there's something different. I'm one of those people that have burnt quite a few bridges, right? I have children I don't even know how to connect with. I have children that live in my house, don't even know how to connect with them. Struggling to figure out how to connect with my wife. Luckily, she's like the best wife in the world. But I'm struggling, right? I have a 5-year-old that teaches me how to be a dad. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person going through this. As a veteran, pretty sure I'm not. Some people just can't understand that you probably won't be normal. And you're fighting your way back through it to try and figure out how do you get back home. Like, for myself, right? It took my sister telling me. She's like, I had no idea, like, why are you, I had no idea why you were trying to be so hard all these years. Because that's not the me that how I grew up. I grew up as somebody, like, always trying to joke or have fun. And although I got in quite a few fights, that was more of the environment that I was in. It wasn't more of who I was, because I hate confrontation. And so I come into the military that's what it's all about, and it becomes a part of who you are. And I lost who I was internally. And you know, a lot of stuff I'm not going to get back. Just like some of these veterans, they're not going to get back, but you have to find what are those things that make you happy. First, you got to find those things that and this is really important. You got to find those things that make you sad, that make you depressed. You got to find these things, and then you have to, like, how do you get away from them? How do you know what those triggers are? How do you know what those landmines are when you get near them to go, that's something that makes me depressed. That's something that makes me sad. Let me stay away from that. And that's the first thing you have to do. And then you have to find out, like, who you really are. Because you're not going to be a soldier for 100 years. Not going to happen, right? So you have to find out, like, who you really are. And, like, for me, it took me going back to go, I'm not this badass. I'm not. I'm a loving, caring, happy, joking type person. And I'm trying like crazy to get back to who that person is. So find out who you're not, and then that'll help you find out who you're supposed to be. And so, you know, that's kind of the process I'm in life. Where I'm like, you know, I know, you know, the military is over with for me. And I know there was some character changes that I had throughout to help me survive, to be honest with you. To help my days better, because you can't just joke all day. I tried that for like the first year or two, didn't work out too good for me. And so you can't do these things all day. And so what's stopping me now from doing it? Right now, it's 22 years of doing the same stuff. That's what's stopping me, because I don't even remember how to do, how to be, like, you know, uncontrollably happy like I was when I was 17, 18, 19 years old. And so, like I said, you just, for the most part, find out who you're not. That'll help you find out who you are again. And then in between that process, you just got to find your path, whatever that may be. I would say but yeah, most civilians just have patience, because definitely if you see them working through it, have patience. That's the wrong feet, man. Wrong feet. Yep. Another foot. Have patience, and if you can help without destroying yourself, help them. Get something. It doesn't matter what it is. Just most of the time, if you ask, yeah, that's the right feet. If you ask, if you ask, and if they can feel your heart, I know that's how I work, and I can feel that it's genuine, I'm probably opening up to you. Some of them still won't, just because of the way it is. But most never even get asked. People just either deal with them or don't deal with them. And then, you know, I would imagine a lot of vets just feel useless at a certain point. You know? And so, yeah, but just have patience. Bottom line, that's just have patience.